Welcome back to Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. Black Girl Magic in the studio this morning. Man, welcoming Miss Erica Jefferson, who was the president and founder of Black Women in Science and Engineering. Good morning.
Good morning.
Also welcoming Keshla Fuller. Keshla. Look, and I said that before. Keshla.
Yes.
Beautiful
Fuller.
smile. Good morning, Ms. Keisha Fuller, who is the lead specialist at Advanced Technology Operations for GE Oil and Gas. And she's here with her lovely daughter, Cameron, who is, well, we'll talk to Cameron later. She has a very special role in the movie Hidden Figures. And also welcoming Natara Sampson. Did I say that right?
You absolutely did.
Who's the project manager for long-term programs at Siemens Energy AGT. Good morning, ladies, and welcome. So earlier this week, we were all blessed and honored. I'm sure you all has probably seen the movie before, but at the Fine Arts Museum, the special screening of Hidden Figures, starring Taraji P. Henson, Octavia Spencer, and Janelle Monáe, along with Kevin Costner. And it was... It was an amazing film.
Very amazing.
I was so full during the film and leaving fuller afterwards. And then there was a Q&A with Jeanette Epps, who was a black astronaut who was there along with Mayor Turner's daughter, who moderated it. And it was amazing. I can't even say, words cannot explain, what I felt. Just to be in the theater, in Brown Auditorium, at the Fine Arts Museum, and the energy surrounded, and especially for me, because I'm sitting next to Dr. Baptiste, who is a cast member on Married to Medicine Houston, and her daughter, they are just cooing over Jeanette Epps, the astronaut who was sitting behind me, and Jeanette and her assistant are excited to see Dr. Baptiste because they're fans of the show. And then the other young lady who just got promoted to something big at NASA, like she was the first in 65 years. I couldn't remember the title or the young lady's name who they acknowledged there. And for her to be a history maker and just to be surrounded by all that black girl magic, I was really overwhelmed with joy.
Nothing but love in that room.
Yeah. So you all have, you all are very accomplished and are trying to do great things in the community. But before we get into all of that, I want to know what you all thought of the movie and how important it is for black culture and just the black community, period. Because this is a story that no one knew about.
Yeah, I think it was a very important narrative. I mean, it covers the full spectrum from racial equality, inequality at that time, gender inequality, pay, and then just the opportunity, just the fact that seeing Taraji getting the opportunity to get a seat at the table. That was like a big part of the movie for me. That's what a lot of us who work in the field of STEM, we experience that day to day.
Yeah. Keisha?
I also feel like it was a great story just of unity amongst women, especially in such a male-dominated industry when everyone is fighting for that seat at the table, as Natara mentioned. And so to see them to come together and each of them face their own obstacle in the film and, created those avenues to overcome them. And so that was monumental for me, as well as, being a mom, to show that to my daughter, just the challenges that we continue to go through as women in STEM, and still in a dominated industry. And so a male-dominated industry. So, just being able to continue to be positive as you work to, advance your career.
Absolutely. Ms. Johnson?
I think
Jefferson?
there were so many themes that came out of that movie. You had certainly the unity of those black women who had each other to rely on and encourage and empower, through the difficult times working there at NASA. I think you had the theme where you had people who were looking out and were encouraging of the talent of people like Katherine Johnson, giving her an opportunity to be able to achieve such incredible accomplishments. And then I think you had, that stick-to-itiveness where you have a God-given talent and ability. And she never, from the time when she put her name on that report, she never doubted her talent. Well, I won't say she never doubted her talent, but she always had people who encouraged her, even when she kind of fell a little short, that she was capable of doing incredible things. So I think the movie was just, on all different points, just so incredible. And one of the things I think that resonated with me is she's not... Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson were not the only people during that time accomplishing incredible things. Right. There were so many Black women accomplishing things in all areas, not just in industry, not just in government, but in academia. And we don't know about them. So there's hidden figures back from that day. There's current people who are doing incredible things in corporate, in academia, and we still don't know about them. So I think the platform of showing, Black women have been doing things and we are continuing to do things is just incredible. And it opens up the eyes, not just of our community, but the broader community. So you have people, I saw a very diverse crowd there last night. Yeah. And I'm sure that they actually were impressed and amazed. Wow, I had no idea that these women were doing these things. So, I've talked to Margot Shelterly, the author, on several occasions, and she said this is an American story. She makes it very clear that it's for everyone. Now, it resonates for the three of us in particular because we can relate to everything that happened. There were several scenes in that movie that I said, oh my God, that happened to her too? Yeah. That happened to me. So I think it's just, uplifting, especially in today's world. I think it's perfect timing for what's going on right now.
And I think you hit it on the head when you said this is really America's story. Like, this is American history. I mean, the NASA program at that particular time, we were trying to be competitive. And without Katherine Johnson's, calculations to get, John Glenn around, then, that would not have occurred. We would not have been looked at as that competitive country. So it was much needed.
Absolutely. You're listening to Access Houston. The lovely and talented Cameron Johnson is here. Cameron, what did you think of the film? And you also have a special tie to the film because you were in the film.
Yes, sir. I loved the film. I thought it really had a message to it, like with success, that success is always possible, no matter what gender, no matter what race you are. It was just a great movie. It taught me a lot of things, and also being on set with everybody was amazing. They taught us some acting tips, like when it's time to be funny and cool, but when it's time to be serious and really get to what you need to do and get your work done.
Now, was this your first movie?
No.
No. Oh, what else have you been in? Give me hip, girl.
Well, I've been in Left Behind, the recent Left Behind movie with Nicolas Cage and Jordan Sparks, and I've been in Bessie, the story on Bessie Smith, starring Queen Latifah.
Yeah, the HBO movie.
Yes, and I've been in different short movies. Black Magic was a short film, and Love Sick with Joey from Friends.
Okay. So how do you like acting?
I love acting. Just meeting everybody, being on set, getting the acting lifestyle. It's really fun.
That's what's up. I love it. And great job in the movie, by the way. Being on set. How was that experience with those big names? Were you intimidated by an Octavia Spencer?
Well, she actually invited all of her kids that were going to be her kids in the movie out for pizza a little bit before filming. And so we got kind of comfortable together so it wouldn't be too uncomfortable.
That is very smart. Well, thank you so much. You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to Erica Jefferson, Keisha LaFuller, and Natara Sampson. You all have... you're involved in the community and you're involved in STEM. And so with Hidden Figures, which... I had called my mom last night. I was like, you've got to take Nia to go see. That's my niece. And I called my brother this morning, like, go take Nia to go see Hidden Figures because that is my niece all day. But you all are involved in something very incredible. Please, somebody just tell us about, the program and what it is that you all are doing.
Well, as you mentioned, I have an organization that's really just about a year and a half old called Black Women in Science and Engineering. I started that here in Houston really as just a way to network and connect with other ladies. For those of you who may not know, Houston's had a little bit of a rough patch as far as opportunities for engineers here. So it was really a way to connect, share resources, uplift and encourage. And unbeknownst to me, there obviously was a void or a vacuum. And, what I thought was going to be meant for Houston has turned out to be a global response. I've got about 900 members all around the world.
Wow.
And every day I get people wanting to participate, wanting to support, wanting to get involved because, that story of being the only or feeling like you're by yourself resonates with so many of us 40 years, 60 years later. Some of us are still the only, right? You're the only in your department. You're the only one in your company. And so I think there's been a lot of focus on support and encouragement of Black girls to go into STEM, but not as much as focused on women. And I think without correcting or addressing the issues that we're facing in our career, we're not going to be able to convince girls to go into these things. So we've put a lot of the onus on the children to take these hard courses and the parents. We're telling parents, encourage your girls to go into these fields. And corporate America hasn't done much at all to help. They've done, I love panel discussions. They're great, but we need jobs.
Absolutely.
And, we can't rise and lift up the next generation if we're in those same jobs, right? We need to be moving up to the C-suite and pulling girls up behind us or young women behind us. So, really that has become the focus for Black Women in Science and Engineering, or BWISE, is let's make sure that those of us who are mid to senior career are getting the training, the exposure, the networking that we need to be able to move up to these next levels.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And this is Natara Sampson, and I graduated from Howard University with a degree in electrical engineering, worked in aerospace with the Rolls-Royce, and moved on to Siemens Energy now. And so everything that was pretty much covered in the film, from the time she was in the test cell and got her heel caught up in the cell, I could relate to all of that. And so I decided to become a board member within an organization called Girls with Gifts, which is an organization of gifted women who pretty much provide resources to also young girls who have an interest in any field for that matter. And through our Reach Back, Pull Forward summer experience, we have taken in over 100 girls through this summer program and given them the resources to better hone in on their gifts so that they can be better citizens in America, in the world. So, we are going to be having for the Super Bowl, we're actually going to have a charity fundraiser around that time, and the summer experience will be coming back to Houston for the second time this summer in July. So pretty excited about that.
Nice.
It's wonderful.
And this is Keishla Fuller. Hidden Figures was especially a personal experience and just appreciation for me. I used to contract for NASA for 6 years. I graduated from Prairie View A&M University with a degree in electrical engineering, and I also received my executive MBA from there as well. And so, just being out there in NASA and never hearing the story, and for someone to have put forth the book and now the film, and she's just now getting acknowledged, that speaks volumes on the talent that is out there, those hidden figures that are still out there.
Right.
And so right now I currently work at GE Oil and Gas, and I'm the only female in my entire building. And so, I definitely see the challenges and the obstacles that are faced in that. I'm a part of
Wait a minute, the only female?
I am. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I work in a test facility, and so I'm the only female that's there. So, just to see this film about women and, support is phenomenal. I'm also serving the board for our African American Forum within GE Oil and Gas. And so, it's a great community of fellow employees that, are striving to keep women, keep African Americans, in technology. At one point, I actually sat down with one of my mentors and, looking to kind of shy away from the engineering field, and she was very adamant about, you know, the need for women to stay in those technology fields and for us to advance so that we can, as you said, you know, reach back and pull forward, you know, for others that are coming into that field. I also serve for Girls with Gifts with Natara in the Reach Back Pull Forward Summer Program. I'm director of the strategic partnerships, and so I'm very excited about what we're doing and the upcoming events that we have to, you know, just give girls in the area in Los Angeles, Houston is where we're primarily based, and also Flint, Michigan, the opportunity to be exposed to arenas they normally wouldn't get that exposure
Absolutely.
to.
Wow. You listen to Access Houston. We're talking to Keishla Fuller, Natara Sampson, and Erica Jefferson. We were honored to have an advanced screening of the movie Hidden Figures, which is out now. And these three young ladies have great programs that involve STEM. And so we are having the conversation. I know that you all said when watching the movie there were some things that you could totally relate to, all three of you all. Mm-hmm. If you don't mind, please share with me. I am very anxious to know, because as I'm sitting there watching the film and I'm getting a little frustrated, like, one is like, it's so messed up that one is treated so differently just off of their gender and their skin color, you know. And as I'm getting there, but that's just the way it was. And the fact that these white folks know how smart we are. They know, they know it. They knew it then and they know it now. And to still hold us back, knowing how intelligent we were, just because of this, and I'm rubbing my hand, it's really at the surface, it's incredibly sad. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly sad.
Well, I don't think that has gone away.
No, it hasn't.
When you look at the numbers, and I look at, you know, women at all levels, you know, we have effective this year, no black female CEOs. Mm-hmm. Ursula, I can't think of her last name, CEO of Xerox will be stepping down, and that's it. In the Fortune 500 companies, we have no black females. So, you know, I don't want people to think that, oh my gosh, look how far we have come, and not realize that those of us who are still in the struggle, we're still fighting that. And our guest speaker earlier at our breakfast mentioned the higher you go, the more things you have to deal with. So, you know, it's very easy to mentor you when you're 21 and 23 and you're not a threat. But as you move up that corporate ladder, things do get difficult. And that's when you sometimes need a mentor and a sponsor the most. Absolutely. But I can almost tell people who have had a sponsor and those who have not. You probably have had a sponsor.
Yeah,
I can tell. I can tell. You know, it just resonates. You can just feel that energy that I feel confident in what I know and what I do, versus people who have not had that experience. Yeah. I know people who've been working 20 years. And in other communities, somebody with that much experience would be a director level by then, or headed towards VP. And here in Houston in particular, I see people who are still lead. GE has a lot of positions called leads. After 20 years, you're still a lead. Why are you not on that track to become, you know, a senior vice president? So I don't want people to see this movie and think, oh gosh, look how far we come and things are so much better. It is better. The numbers are greater. NSBE has been around 40 years, so you have 40 years of engineers and other disciplines, but it doesn't mean that we're, you know, over the hill and there's no opportunity for improvement.
Yeah, there's not enough. You know, I feel that we need to see more of you guys. You guys are the real heroes. Yeah. And that's what I was feeling last night as I was watching Dr. Baptiste and Jeanette Epps, you know, have that, just feeling that energy, you know, cross. And I'm thinking to myself, like, these are the real heroes right here. Yeah. These are the real heroes. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And just to your point, you know, that's the character that resonated with me the most was Octavia Spencer and her role as Dorothy Vaughan. You know, she fought for her position to be supervisor. And not only did she accept once that opportunity was finally presented, because she created a need for that position and for herself, but she would not take it unless she was able to bring her team with her. And so that just speaks volumes in, the struggles that we have to get to those leadership positions, but not forgetting the ones who, serve with us, the one who've assisted us, where we currently are, to make sure, as sometimes as women, we can be very competitive, and there's nothing wrong with competition, but at the same time, we can do
You're
so
in this
much
together,
more when we're together.
Yeah. Stronger together.
Yes,
And the
definitely.
strength of her character to say, no, if they don't go, I don't go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How many people have you seen? I've had the privilege of working with a diverse company, but I've never seen anyone stick their nose or neck out and say,
For the rest of them.
for the
Right.
rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
And the
important.
fact that Mrs. Vaughn was smart enough to think ahead to know that you're going to need some people to man this IBM computer to keep it going. Like it's not going to do itself. So for her to see that already and sneak in there and to learn the machine,
the language.
learn the language of the
Yeah.
machine,
Fortran.
get it to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was just
But that's what you have to do. And as Black women, that's the amazing thing about this story is that's what Black women do, right?
Yeah,
that's
that's every day.
That is what you do.
how
Yes,
we were
it
able to
is.
do those things because we make do with very little, right? So
Yeah.
I think of some of the things that had Black women been involved in, how far they would have been, right? The cancer moonshot. I've got probably 100 or so women who are in oncology and other things. And I want to say, get those Black women involved in the cancer moonshot. I can guarantee you probably get some revolutionary things come out of that. So
Hello.
Black women do so much with so little. It only made sense that these women would be able to accomplish what they were able to accomplish. Even then, if you think about those are your grandparents' age.
Yeah, it
I
really
mean,
is.
how many of us have grandparents that accomplished things like that? Some of us have grandparents who were just one, generation away from slavery.
Absolutely.
So it's amazing that they had the mental capacity and the ability. And keep in mind, those ladies were at the pinnacle of Black society.
Right.
They made sometimes 3 times what other Black people made. So even though they were struggling, they were still so much, advanced or doing so many things in that time for Black people.
Yeah.
It was really revolutionary what they did.
Well, if people don't know, let me tell you this morning, Black women are the strongest species on this planet. Okay, this country was built off the backs of Black women. Okay, Black men too, but Black women more because they were also out in the fields. They were in the house. They were bearing their husband's child and master's child and raising master and wife's child at the same time.
At the same time.
You know what I mean? So when it goes back, when you think about it and it goes all the way back, we have been on the backs of Black women. Black women have been carrying all of us for centuries. And I've publicly said that you all are the strongest. And I mean that because you are.
It's that strength that carries us because even in the movie, they depicted each of the ladies having their own families, husbands at home, and Catherine taking her loss, but establishing new relationships. Nobody takes into the account of taking care of home, but also leading in the workplace as well. And I think it's because we do it so seamlessly. We make it look like it's so easy.
Y'all make it look easy.
But no, it's not. And that's the part that I think that balance, showing that balance in the film and also showing how it's made to look easy in the film, that resonates with me.
Absolutely. Ladies, I really appreciate you all coming through. Please, one more time, tell us your organizations and where people can get more information with your respective programs and organizations.
Sure. Erica Jefferson, Black Women in Science and Engineering, www.bwiseusa.org. And we're also on LinkedIn and Twitter.
Okay.
Natara Sampson, and I'm with Girls with Gifts. You can reach me at natara@girlswithgifts.org or the organization and all of its calendar events at www.girlswithgifts.org.
Keishla Fuller. I also have a management company encouraging Houston talent to just to develop Houston talent and children and their parents who are interested in getting involved in the entertainment industry. And so my social media is ACT MGMT ACT Management. So you can find me there, and as well as Girls with Gifts.
Absolutely. And the lovely Cameron Johnson, I know you got Instagram, or can the kids follow you on Snapchat?
On Instagram and Facebook, Cameron_Johnson, KAMRYN_JOHNSON.
Absolutely. Erica, Keishla, Latara, and you, Cameron. This has been amazing. Thank you all for your time and coming through, and your wisdom, and keep on shining, man. Y'all need to be on the front.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And thanks for spreading the word. This movie is so important. So
it is.
There have been so many screenings. I've seen it 3 times, but I'm going to go and see it again. And
I know that's
for
right.
it.
Yeah, I'm going to play this with you.
Opening weekend. It's the
Opening
most important weekend.
Absolutely.
Please thank you for encouraging people to go out and see it, and check your ticket stubs to make sure it does say Hidden Figures on there.
Yes.
Absolutely. Please go out and support the film.
Please
Yeah.
go
Thank
and
you.
support the film. It's so amazing. Take your daughters, take your sons,
Yes.
take the entire family. It's definitely worth it. And young Cameron does an amazing job for the time that she's in the
Thank
film.
you.
Yes, she does.
Yes, she
Thank
does.
you.
Cameron.
No doubt. The movie Hidden Figures in theaters now. Make sure you go check it out. And ladies, I appreciate you one more time.
Check
Thank
it
you
out.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening to Access Houston.